Hi, Eric Gimbal, ericgimbal.com, and today I'm going to present you my 5 tips for October 2017. Let's start. First of all, thank you very much to Photo Valencia in Valencia in Spain, who receives me in their studio. I'm sitting at one of the table. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/ericgimbal, my website ericgimbal.com, and if you have any question, you can send me an email to info@ericgimbal.com. Let's start with tip number 1. Very often we have cameras with a zoom lens, and if we use a camera that we can change lenses, then we would probably like one day to try or to buy a prime lens, for example 50mm or 28 or 24 or whatever. But the problem is very often we don't know what lens to buy. So there are 2 simple tips. The first one is check on your computer the EXIF of your files, which is the information that tells you what the aperture was, the speed, the ISO, but also it tells you the millimeter your zoom was on. So you check so you can see what you normally use, like 50mm or 54 or 48 or whatever. So you can decide what is the closest prime lens, focal lens you should get. So this is the first part. Then when you've decided what would be probably the best prime lens for you, you should use some sellotape, and then you put it around your zoom lens to lock it on this millimeter. For example, if the closest millimeter you normally use is 35mm, I use on average of 33 or 34 or 37, then well, fix your zoom on 35, then you sellotape it, and then you spend a couple of days shooting pictures without being able to touch the zoom lens, even by accident, and this way you will see if it's okay for you to buy this, okay? And in case you would want to buy something that is not within your zoom range, then well, maybe you can ask a friend to lend you a prime lens or whatever, okay? But with this tip it's very easy, because this way you know if you really need this lens or not, or if you would already use this range, okay? Tip number 2. Very often I see people that say, no, you must keep the rules. You have composition rules, framing or whatever, exposing, whatever. And they say, when you tell them, why did you compose this way? Why is it framed this way? I say, no, I don't follow the rules. So this way, okay. Well, you don't have to follow the rules. Actually, if you always follow the rules, the thing is that you will have a technically okay picture, but probably you will not have a spectacular picture. Why? Because when you don't follow the rules, you actually surprise the person who is watching the picture, so the photography. So this way, if you always follow the rules, is not really surprised. But when you skip the rules, the risk is that you have a bad picture. So I advise that first you learn the rules, because if you don't know them, you're not skipping anything, you just don't know them. If you're actually driving and then you skip the red light and the policeman stops you and says, oh yeah, you skipped the red light. I say, I don't know. What do you don't know? What do you have to do when it's red? I don't know. No, you're not skipping anything. Basically, you just don't know how to drive. So the thing is, you must know the rule first and then decide if you skip it or not. So I advise that when you know the rules and you're going to make a picture, first apply the rules. Then you check your picture, you make sure you've followed the rules and the picture is okay. And then, and only then, you make a second, a third, or fourth, or whatever pictures, and then you skip these rules. And then when you get home, you see the picture and you decide what is the one you like most. But at least the first picture follows the rules, and you know this one is technically okay. Maybe not surprising, maybe not spectacular, but at least it's a correct picture. Tip number 3. Very often they contact me asking what is the best white balance for concert and event pictures. And the thing is very difficult to answer, because actually you have maybe some blue light, then red light, then green light, yellow lights, whatever. And your camera, if it's on the option of automatic white balance, will simply get crazy because it's not all the time the same colors, so it cannot actually calculate for each picture the right white balance. So I advise you actually manually fix, you lock the Kelvin degrees. So this way you say like 5000 Kelvin or 2800 or whatever, and you actually check that what the picture you make is more or less similar to what you see. Then when this is locked, you don't touch it anymore. So you make the whole series with the same white balance. This way, if there is a small error or big error, it will be always the same, okay? Except if between songs, from one song to the other one, they actually change the color set on the scenery or whatever. So in this case, you should change the white balance each time, but normally it's not this way. So once you've done your pictures, when you get home, don't wait too long to edit the pictures because you need to remember what it looked like. And don't forget that actually you were there, so maybe it was really red or really blue or really green, and you remember it was like this, and you see your picture, say, yeah, it was really that green. But don't forget that many people who will look at your pictures were not actually there, so maybe they will think it's too much green, too much red, too much blue, whatever. So actually, probably you have to reduce a bit these impact colors because it won't look real. You know it's real, but not for them because they were not there. So the way to set the white balance is fix your Kelvin and then edit as soon as possible. Tip number 4. We're getting close to Christmas and there are some people already thinking about their Christmas gift. I mean, they've been thinking since January last year. So normally they want to buy something new, a camera, a lens, an accessory, whatever. And very often they just buy what they can afford, logically. But they never think, very often they don't think about buying second-hand. And actually, if you buy second-hand, you can get things that are a lot better than what you could afford if it was new. For Christmas, many people sell their gear to buy new gear. So sometimes the gear is perfect. So you should check it. Don't forget that many people are crazy with prices. They sell you something like with just a 20% discount, and this is not a discount. Don't forget that twice a year, maybe more, there is a Black Friday, and you already have around a 20% discount on new gear. So if you buy second-hand with just 20%, it's better for you to wait for the next Black Friday and get it new with the full guarantee and everything. So you should get a lower price than just 20%. Second, sometimes you look for really good opportunities and you find a really cheap camera or cheap lens. Normally there is a problem with this material because people don't just give their stuff away for free. So it's always better to check for something you like with a price that is a bit higher than what you would like to pay, and then negotiate with the seller. Because many people need the money to buy new gear or just simply need the money, and they are ready to drop the price a bit. But it's a nonsense to look just for bargains when the product has no reason to be with a bargain. It could be stolen gear, it could be broken gear, it can be something that has been used too much and it's about to break or whatever. Okay, so check the second-hand market, but make sure what you're buying, and then check the product yourself if you can. Have a look at it, touch it, try it, see the seller, speak to the seller, and if you can have some online reputation reference, it's always good too. Okay. Tip number 5. Very often when we make picture, we just expose for the full frame, and we just think that the camera indicates. If it's on automatic, it's even worse, but even in manual, you check the average exposure and you think it's fine. But actually you should make sure that there are some important parts in your picture, and this is the part that should be properly exposed. For example, if in the right corner it's a bit dark and then you have something clear in the center, it's not a big drama that the dark part is even darker than real. The important part is that your subject is properly exposed. Okay, so in case you would do HDR, I don't speak about the colorish HDR, I speak a real HDR when the dynamic range is actually wider, longer, okay, higher. You could do it with several pictures, and then you with different exposure, and then you actually layer them together in Photoshop and have the proper something that looks like what your eyes actually saw. Okay, but in case you're just going to do one shot, it's important that you decide what part of the picture must be perfectly exposed. Okay, if the rest is not perfect, this is not a drama for you. The important is that what needs to be okay has to be okay, and you must decide it when you make the pictures. When you make the picture, make several if you want, if you have a doubt, and then pick the best one. Okay. Well, these were the 5 tips for my 5 photography tips for October 2017. Thank you to Photo Valencia for receiving me in their studio. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/ericgibaud. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, you can send me an email to info@ericgibaud.com. My Facebook, facebook.com/ericgibaudphoto. My Instagram, ericgibaud. My Twitter, ericgibaud. And my Google+, +ericgibaud. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.